Finland's decision to upgrade its M270A2 multiple launch rocket system fleet to the M270A2 standard is not simply a technical modernization program. It is a strategic statement about how the country intends to fight, deter, and survive in a radically altered security environment. Since joining NATO, Finland has not abandoned its long-standing philosophy of independent national defense. Instead, it has adapted that philosophy to a new framework in which national capabilities must be strong enough to matter on their own while also being fully interoperable with allies. The M270A2 upgrade sits squarely at the intersection of these two imperatives. For decades, Finland has built its defense posture around a clear-eyed assessment of geography and demography. A long eastern border, sparse population density, and challenging terrain have shaped a doctrine that prioritizes depth, resilience, and sustained resistance over rapid offensive maneuver. In this context, artillery has always been central. It provides reach, flexibility, and the ability to impose costs on an adversary without relying on air superiority or large standing forces. The modernization of the M270 fleet reflects a continuation of this logic rather than a departure from it. The earlier M270A1 configuration already gave Finland a credible long-range fires capability, but its limitations were becoming increasingly apparent in the context of modern, high-intensity warfare. Digital command and control requirements, counter-battery threats, and the growing importance of precision all demand systems that can operate seamlessly within a networked battle space. The M270A2 standard addresses these issues directly by introducing a new fire control system, improved communications, and enhanced survivability. The result is not just a more capable launcher, but a system that fits naturally into a modern data-driven approach to land warfare. What matters most for Finnish defense planning is not any single performance metric, but what the upgrade enables operationally. With M270A2, Finnish artillery units gain faster sensor-to-shooter cycles, improved coordination with allied forces, and access to a broader range of precision munitions. This supports a shift away from massed fires towards selective, high-value targeting. In practical terms, it allows Finland to hold key nodes, formations, and logistical assets at risk at greater distances, reinforcing the credibility of its deterrence posture. This emphasis on precision aligns closely with Finland's broader defense philosophy. The country does not seek to overwhelm an adversary through sheer volume of fire. Instead, it aims to impose uncertainty, disrupt momentum, and complicate operational planning. Long-range precision fires are particularly well-suited to this task in Finland's forested and lake-rich terrain, where maneuver corridors are limited and infrastructure is both sparse and critical. By upgrading to M270A2, Finland is ensuring that its artillery remains relevant in precisely these kinds of scenarios. The NATO dimension of the upgrade is equally significant, but it should not be misunderstood. Interoperability does not mean dependency. Finnish planners have consistently emphasized that national forces must be capable of fighting alone if necessary, even while being fully integrated into allied structures. The M270A2 standard supports this balance by using common systems and interfaces without eroding national command authority. In a coalition context, Finnish MLRS units can contribute meaningfully to shared fire plans. In a national context, they remain firmly under Finnish control. This dual-use character is particularly important in Northern Europe, where crisis escalation timelines may be short and political decision-making windows narrow. Finland cannot assume that allied forces will always be immediately available in sufficient numbers. What it can assume is that a credible, ready, and technologically compatible national force will shape the calculations of any potential adversary. The M270A2 upgrade strengthens that credibility by ensuring that Finland's long-range fires capability remains modern, survivable, and effective well into the coming decades. Geography again plays a decisive role in understanding the value of this program. Finland's security is inseparable from developments in the Baltic Sea region and the Arctic North. Long-range artillery is not a maritime weapon, but it contributes indirectly to sea denial and coastal defense by threatening ports, staging areas, and supporting infrastructure. Along the Baltic-Lapland axis, M270A2 equipped units provide a flexible tool for shaping the battle space across wide areas without committing large formations forward. This reinforces Finland's preference for defense in depth rather than static border defense. Survivability is another critical consideration. High-intensity conflict has demonstrated that artillery systems must be able to move, fire, and relocate rapidly to avoid counter-battery fire. The M270A2 upgrade improves precisely these aspects by enhancing reliability, automation, and integration with situational awareness systems. For a country that plans for sustained conflict rather than short, decisive campaigns, these features are essential. They increase the likelihood that artillery units can continue operating effectively over time, even under pressure. Sustainability also matters in a broader sense. Finland's total defense concept relies on mobilization, reserves, and the ability to maintain combat power over extended periods. A modernized MLRS fleet that can remain in service beyond the middle of the century supports this approach by reducing the need for frequent, disruptive replacement programs. It represents an investment not only in capability, but in continuity and planning stability. There is also a political dimension to consider, though it is often understated in Finnish discourse. By investing in a capability that is both nationally controlled and alliance compatible, Finland sends a clear signal of seriousness. It demonstrates that NATO membership is being matched by concrete contributions, not just declarations of solidarity. At the same time, it reassures domestic audiences that national defense priorities remain firmly in Finnish hands. Taken together, the M270A2 upgrade illustrates a distinctly Finnish approach to modern warfare. It is quiet rather than demonstrative, focused on function rather than symbolism. It reflects an understanding that deterrence in the 21st century depends less on headline-grabbing acquisitions and more on the steady accumulation of credible, well-integrated capabilities. Long-range fires are not glamorous, but they are decisive, especially for a country that must plan for the worst while hoping for the best. In the end, the significance of the M270A2 program lies not in the launcher itself, but in what it represents. It shows how Finland is adapting its traditional strengths to a new strategic environment without abandoning the principles that have guided its defense for generations. Precision, resilience, and independence remain at the core. NATO membership adds a new layer of cooperation, but the foundation is still national readiness. For Finnish audiences, this is perhaps the most important takeaway. The modernization of the MLRS fleet is not about preparing for war in an abstract sense. It is about ensuring that if deterrence fails, Finland retains the tools needed to defend its territory, protect its society, and endure. In that sense, the M270A2 upgrade is a natural continuation of Finland's long-standing commitment to taking responsibility for its own security in an uncertain world.